I love Alien. Like Alien is one of my favorite movies. It's so awesome. It's like sci-fi horror. The creature was such like this force of nature, indestructible like threat. Like everything about that movie I think is so good. And I kind of was disappointed for a long time that Aliens didn't keep the tone of the first one and didn't like it's more, it's sold as like more of an action movie, and it is more of an action movie, but
Definitely, yeah.
to me there was something that I just didn't like. Maybe even I would use the word resented about it, for kind of like making the aliens themselves seem like indisposable or not as threatening. And I think I just like need to kind of, I don't know. I think I kind of got shed that mentality for the last time last night. I've actually watched this movie, I want to say 3 times in the last like calendar year, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I just
twice
have.
for me.
So while I was watching this, I was just like, you know what, this movie is really good. It is really good. Okay, this movie is awesome, and I think that like once you kind of get over, or once I personally got over that it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be, I really started to appreciate it for like what it is. And like
Mhm.
it's really like awesome movie. And actually when I was watching it last night, I really did kind of admit to myself, I'm like, it's not like necessarily like that action packed, or you know what I mean, like it's like
It
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 slow builds.
it has like one in the middle, like kind of when they first
Hmm.
get there and stuff goes wrong, and Ridley's driving the truck and it's awesome. And then, but before that, it's a lot of more. It's similar to like the other one where it's more
Yeah.
tension and stuff like that. And then it goes down a little bit while they're figuring out what to do, and then it ends in this massive, scene. And I
Yeah.
think I think that definitely qualifies it for a big blockbuster action movie for sure, but it does still maintain some of the tension, a little bit of the spookiness and stuff of
Yeah.
the original.
I agree. I think that the middle part is certainly like it's certainly action packed when they get to the nest, and things go really wrong. But even that, like, I feel like they were like kind of restrained a little bit, and then obviously the ending is like the big crescendo, and it certainly is an action movie, but it's not like I don't know. Like, I guess I was just thinking, like, when I think action movies, I'm thinking I'll pick like a Dwayne Johnson like San Andreas movie or something like that, right? Where it's like there's like a really big set piece in the first act, a really big set piece in the middle act, and like
Right.
this action schmozzle at the end. And like I think that we get like a moderate set piece in the middle that kind of informs how you like. There's payoff when you go back to the end as well. So even though I did resent this movie for a long time, I don't know that it's really like as, I don't know, like tonally different as I think that I thought it was. It certainly is
Mhm.
different than Alien, but I think that it isn't like so far removed to feel like completely different, you know?
I think what keeps it connected while being tonally different enough, I think it's thematically very similar to the
Mm,
first one. Um, just in, first of all, with just the action stuff, to what you said about how it kind of makes the aliens more dispensable. It's true, you certainly see more get killed, but granted, they're getting killed by a group of people with like, you know,
yeah.
high powered weapons and stuff like that, which the miners or whatever in the first movie did not have. But
Mm,
second, I would say it still keeps a similar premise because this whole team of elite badasses gets totally washed by them. They
yeah.
they happen to kill a few because they got these guns, but it's really like it's not they get completely wrecked. Like that middle action scene we're talking about, the thing you get across is after a half hour of building up them all going like, yeah, badass, yeah,
Yeah.
they just get completely wrecked, and the one guy is just all of a sudden crying and screaming and stuff like that. um and then I also think just thematically it keeps going with the stuff of like the Wayland Yutani
Yeah.
Corporation. You get
Yeah.
more of like the commentary of that. um and then also like stuff with like motherhood is kind of a theme that's carried over the story
Hmm.
with Newt. It's certainly presented in a more uh it's more of a like I wouldn't say it's like a big blockbuster way. You know, you got a kid in there, so there's that automatically makes it a little less like kind of edgy as the first one. I think you could say like Terminator is similar too. It's like now we got a
Actually, yeah,
cute
I
kid.
think that's a perfect analogy. Where like I also really love the first Terminator because it's also a little bit more of like a it's not horror, but there's some scary parts, and Arnold is so like Arnold and the alien are like almost similar in that they're so imposing and so you know what I mean, and like the
Mhm.
sequels to both of them are clearly more action based in nature,
You
which
could
I
like
think
show your your family this. It's like a
yeah
little too scary probably for the kids, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah
you could watch this with your parents, and it's like, oh, that's fun.